Good evening, gamers.
And welcome to ozfortress Season 29, the main upper page playoffs. You are on Capping Television. Keep it fucking tuned in, because my name is Snazzy, and with me tonight I have Luggnuts. How you doing, mates?
I'm doing pretty good, Snazzy. How about you?
Oh, mate, I've never been more cheerful. It is Thursday?
Something like
and,
that.
I finished work, I'm nice and sweaty, and I'm ready to start screaming about some video games.
All right. Well, I mean, it's going to be an interesting match today. The first seed, second seed team in Maine, with Colon Cancer versus Terrible Tactics. Looking at the rosters for Colon Cancer, we have Jenga 7 playing the Scout, as well as Nerf, Juice on the Pocket Soldier, Spartan as the Roamer, Default on Demo Man, and Ambrosio on Medic.
It's a pretty fat roster. Looking at them across the battlefield, we have Terrible Tactics, who have Beats on Scout, Appa 3 on the other one, Optivex on, I believe he'd be roaming, I think, and then
maybe
Ants as the other soldier. So it really could be either. Worthy as Demo Man and Spaceship as Medic.
Right, so where would you say the strengths lie in that team then? On the soldiers, Optivex and Ants, or?
Look, the soldiers are both rather good for their division, and even above, I would say. Optivex and Ants are well known. You know, they definitely have a lot of experience on the soldier class. But I think, you got Appa 3. That dude is a proper Quake nerd, so you have to expect some pretty fat shots out of him on Scout, and he's definitely been performing over the last couple seasons. Beats, I'm not sure very much about, but I have actually seen that guy pop off in games previously. And Worthy, I've seen hit some really gross pipes, just gross. You ever seen you leave a cucumber in the crisper in the fridge for too long? It's a little bit furry, a little bit squishy. That kind of gross.
Tastes kind of weird
really
after that as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. It's no good in as a garnish for a nazi goreng.
But if you cook it nicely, yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think the strength is on Cancer? Oh, Jesus. What do you think the strength is on Cancer? Because I've seen a few of these players before.
Right, well, Jenga 7 has spent, I'm pretty sure, every hour of his life outside of birth playing Pugs in this game. He's actually the one who got me into Pug servers when I first joined as well, so, he's definitely going to know the map decently well, and he's going to probably know a couple of weird spots as well. Nerf's just an absolute monster. I don't know how this man hasn't been banned from ozfortress yet, since he clearly either hacks or does crystal meth. Juice is a pretty good soldier, definitely. I think, I don't know if I can quote Oz here saying he's the only person on the team that he respects. Spartan is got the chaos factor, definitely on Roma. The man's trained his bombs all day, all night, and really just homes in on any target he can. And Default, of course, has not stopped bragging about his Prem badge for 6 weeks now. So, yeah, I guess he's got the big experience on the team, probably going to be doing a lot of calling for them. And if they don't listen to him, then you can bet he's going to get very angry, and maybe that tilt factor is going to influence things. Ambrosio is probably one of the newer players to the class on the team, but he is a very accomplished spy main in Highlander, placed pretty highly back in the days when he did play it. So, let's see if he's going to do any behind plays or something with the Ubisoft, which I heard he's swapping back to.
Oh, really? Well, it would definitely make a difference having a med that has played a lot of off classes previously. Well, off classes. For him, they'd be on classes.
Oh, yeah, but, definitely.
I might just mention, for any who have tuned on in, the maps for tonight were Colon Cancer picking Villa, Terrible Tactics picking Gullywash, and Cancer coming back with Sunshine. These guys have actually faced off each other earlier in the season, back in week 3. So, that was yonks ago. What's that, 5-6 weeks? So a lot changes in the meantime, for sure. But Colon Cancer pretty convincingly took Snakewater 5-0. But then on Metalworks, they got mired in a long-ass game, going 1-0 after 30 minutes, which is, that's a game, bro. I would probably shoot myself after that one.
And after that game, I'm no longer allowed to mention the word golden cap around any of their players, so... Understandably. Yeah, I think given their map picks, I reckon that Colon Cancer at least, or hell, even both teams kind of, I feel, expect the scouts to perform better on Cancer and the soldiers to perform better on Terrible Tactics. Given that Gullywash is a pretty heavy soldier map instead of a scout map, or demo map as well. And Sunshine is known to be pretty good for scouts, so maybe going to be that impact of nerf or not.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand where you're coming at. And with those soldiers, I mean, like I was just singing their praises earlier. I mean, Ant and Opti both have some pretty fat bombs. Ant's, a bit of a meme around him, but I think he gets given a bad rap. Like he definitely gets his jumps in. And he gets them at like decent times. So I think the soldiers there are definitely going to make a pretty big impact. But like I said, I don't think anyone should be sleeping on these scouts on terrible tactics, mate.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, reckon it's going to be relatively close game here. I mean, any half an hour golden calf is going to take things, quite a while to get through. Hopefully we don't see anything that long on these maps, all 5 CP. So going on to the maps, which one do you think is going to benefit, each team apart from just that scout or soldier?
Can't ask me in-depth questions like that, mate. My brain's a bit slow. Look.
Yeah, of course I know that.
I think Colon Cancer... Yeah, calm down, bro. Colon Cancer picking Villa and Sunshine. They're both rather flowy maps, you know what I mean? I know I'm talking some real trash, but it's like, if you cap a point, you've put yourself in a position, usually just based on like the fighting and stuff, where you're going to be pushing the next one, or at least gearing up to do so. Whereas Gullywash is a little bit more... I guess the word would be like insular, like each point is its own sort of battle as a regular basis, like especially if the teams are even, which, I mean, I would say these guys probably are.
Most likely, yeah. Thanks for busting out the crystals and giving us the feel of the maps.
Yeah, man.
And, I might come down a little bit once you show up to a grand finals, but it does look like we are starting now, going into Villa.
Your boy's going to prioritize beer. But let's go. We have the Season 29 main upper page playoffs. This is Terrible Tactics versus Colon Cancer. The first map is Villa, and we're coming into the map. I think I'll talk about this first mid default getting there a little bit earlier. Some stickies off, but nothing really connecting on Worthy, who does go down. Spartan in there really early. He does get cleaned up for his efforts. Janga taking a fat rocket. Juice in very deep, clearing out the med. The advantage is really going the way of Colon Cancer here, but they are down a few players. We'll have to see if they're going to be able to collect the med on the side of Terrible Tactics here. They actually do, one of their scouts. Pardon me, I was choked a bit there. Getting in nice and deep and able to clean up. Ant's getting a fat double kill with a big midi onto the scout right at the end to clear out the mid for his team. Pretty convincing, in a weird way.
Yeah, definitely. Soldier's doing a lot of work on both teams there. Spartan and Juice getting up the demo in the mid really early. But, Ants with that fat 2k at the end just to close it out. I mean, yeah, pretty big stars in the mids there.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I was kind of worried that they might actually lose the mid after these spawns came in, but it does look like they have kept the mid. And with this, 50% ad, I mean, it's an easy push, right?
Yeah, definitely. They'll hopefully be able to take this without using that and maybe see a very clean last push here.
Yeah, we did see Spartan and Juice go for a bit of a sack, but both of those guys dying for their efforts. And I think second is just going to be falling to Terrible Tactics here, who have maintained around about a 60% advantage. Coming down at this point, though. Jenga 7 already up on NG.
Yeah, I mean, Jenga 7 hasn't actually played, apparently, too much of the off classes on last, but they have been drilling him a little bit on Engineer. We'll see how well they are at holding this Villa last push, as they are going to have to take a full Uber push from Terrible Tactics here, coming in on the left side.
Terrible Tactics using straight on through, able to get really deep onto that point nice and early. Ants actually getting very deep and dying for his efforts. Nerf going down on the side there. Spartan taking out the med though after the Uber. This is looking good. Both Ubers are being used. Ambro actually using his in the middle of all that fight. Spartan going down. They still have some control of this last, but it's going to be difficult with no med. They are fighting still. They have good point control. Jenga 7 going down. Ambro, the only one really able to defend the point, and he goes down, and that's the first round going to Terrible Tactics.
Yeah, really heavy play from the soldiers all that round. That last push was pretty much sealed. Optiv sealed the deal right in that end part, getting those 2 kills. On the mids as well, Ants getting another 2 kills. So we'll have to see what they do going into this round as well.
Yeah, man, for sure. We do see Default get there a little bit later this time. No damage on a Worthy. Spartan in very deep. He actually goes down. A fat pipe from Worthy. Juice with a big vertical bomb. Not really getting very much done with it. He's actually dying for his efforts as well. 2 down on the side of Cancer here, and it looks like they're going to have to get out through Oxford there. Does see Ants behind. I was about to say Ants with a big bomb, but Ambro getting out. Not too shabby. He's really not that dangerous. Default looks like he might be caught here. He actually is losing a demo on second there, trying to flee out into the last. Not the greatest spot to be. Nice long spawn on him. So I think they're going to be shoved into last and maybe losing the point.
Yeah, definitely. Scout's actually doing really well going into that one. Doing really well in denying all the soldier bombs from both teams. And picking up Default right near the end there. But now that all players are up, and they do have off classes on the side of Colon Cancer, we'll see how they do this hold, if they're going to have a bit more luck than last time, and if they'll be able to push out maybe after a successful hold.
Yeah, we do actually see a pause come through, which might, given the STV delays, spell some danger. Some danger for the boys here, because that might be after a successful push, but who knows? We'll have to see. We do see the Terrible Tactics guys gearing up to take this through the right side, it looks like.
It's always difficult to tell if these are tactical pause after a round's been lost, or if someone's had to leave real quick, let their cat out or something. You really never know what could have happened to the players when those happening. So
yeah, we do see the pause come back off. Worthy in very deep, actually. The Uber gets used. Ambro using his pretty early as well due to the damage onto his demo man. Juice going down on the point while he was on heavy. He was totally unsupported there. Nerf's in pretty far, trying to hold them off. Yeah, Worthy's got good point control though. Janga fighting him, going down. Nerf taking out one of the scouts. Worthy's on the point. The point is very capped. Ants behind it as well, totally free. He's not being pressured at all. He's on that point with his med and able to cap despite not fragging all the gamers.
Quite possible that this is where the tactical pause came out. You can see why both off classes, even Ubers, still lost a dry last push. Seems that these last pushes have been pretty rocky for Colon Cancer here.
Yeah, looking very dangerous for them. Coming into this mid though, we do see Default get there a little bit earlier. He's got a sticky across and he's not actually connecting on Worthy still. Worthy taking a couple spam rockets though. We don't see a really early bomb from Spartan this time. He gets in deep though onto the mech. Juice following up, getting a fat frag. We do see gamers going down all over the shop. This is looking really good for Colon Cancer. They've really pushed them straight out through a library. Optivex with a big bomb, getting caught out by the scouts though, and that's going to be the mid.
Very quick mid from Colon Cancer there. Just a little bit more delayed aggression, allowing them to maybe pick up the players without losing their own as quickly. Really good later bomb from Spartan there, instead of the really early ones onto the demo that we've seen before, this time going onto the medic and getting a lot of damage, not just on the medic, but on the other combo class as well.
Yeah, definitely a really good mid out of them, and the pause actually came through after that mid cap, so not necessarily a tactical pause. But with this full ad, how do you reckon they're going to push it?
Right, they are being a little bit slow here, so maybe they're looking to go through on this left side here. Maybe we're looking to get their demo man and scout forward. Although Juice is actually going in first, maybe for a sack. Maybe they don't know that it's an ad.
I think Juice may have just taken some attention, but he does go down for his efforts. They clean up Ants, so it's 1-for-1 so far. Uber's getting very close on Spaceship there, 99%. He actually uses on his heavy. They have pretty good point control on the defending team here. Ambro going down as well is probably going to spell the end of this push. Django and Default having to flee for their lives. Are they going back in? No, they're not. Okay, good.
Definitely some rocky situations on these last here for Colon Cancer, with those pretty rocky last holds and, that failure of a last push as well. I mean, yeah, it looks like this last is really giving them some trouble.
I mean, look, Villa is... I've been very vocal with my thoughts about this map. I don't like it. I think it's really bad. But I think that could just be the fact that I don't really know how to play it. So I don't know. The last is a bit hard to put. We do see Juice going for a pretty big sack, trying to get onto the med, caught out by the scout. Does trade for the scout, though, and Spartan taking out Ants on the flank might actually mean that they're able to hold this second despite getting pushed after their botched push into last. Spartan in deep behind gets a fat rocket onto Spaceship, who does go down low. Janga7 getting in very deep, trying to get that frag, and he actually died. So that's probably going to spell the end of this mid for Colin Cancer as well.
It would be nice to see them, attempt to take space, maybe deny that point while they were all bunched up getting the cap, while they had their soldier behind, instead of waiting for him to go on the sack, almost unsupported. Losing Django there near the end as well really hurt them, and now it's going to give the chance for Terrible Tactics to push in through Fountain.
Yeah, and the Ubers are used straight through. They've managed to secure this point, but they haven't got any cap time yet, and they haven't forced the other players anywhere. Juice in nice and deep, getting a lot of damage on the spaceship, which should give them the room to come in. Ants actually fragging himself with a jump in the middle of that. Optivex down. He's like the only player left alive, and he's out. He's dead.
Yeah, pretty strange push from Terrible Tactics. They did try to move in with that momentum, but pushed through Fountain when Colin Cancer was holding pretty far back, and had to sacrifice Ants for that use after their Uber was already over. So they're not going to be in a terrible position right now, roughly even Ubers, but they have allowed Colin Cancer to get a lot of space.
But as you say that, we actually see the Scout Beats, I believe, get right in behind, frag Colin Cancer's medic. Amber going down, Spartan going for a bit of a sack on the tail end there, but he just dies. That's pretty big for Terrible Tactics here.
Yeah, it seems like these teams are getting a lot of advantages off questionable plays from the other team here. I mean, that was an even push in from Colon Cancer. Seems like these teams are a fan of the dry pushes.
I mean, it's definitely a good way to play, I think. Just keep the aggression up whenever you have some sort of ad. And they did have a two-player ad as they pushed in there, but one of the scouts just walking straight through and fragging them. This is going to be the second push with full ad. I would be amazed if Colin Cancer try to hold on to this too long.
Spaceship actually eating a couple of rockets from the other side of the map from Spartan. Pretty well aimed. Gets him pretty low, but he does not use, which is going to allow his team to take the point without having to spend any players or the Uber.
And we see them pushing in here with about a 20% ad, and still with two-player ad, no scout or soldier. They've come in, they've only just used their Uber really late here. Great point control, Janga7 dying on the point there. A lot of players going down low. Nerf really the only one able to fight, and he's dying as well. And that's a third round very quickly to Terrible Tactics.
This is interesting because this is a map that was picked by Colon Cancer, wasn't it? So, you'd expect they have some experience on this map, but these lasts really aren't going their way. However, the mids definitely are, as they have won, 2 out of 3. Oh, wait, no, it's actually the last one was the first one, so we'll see how they go into this one.
Yeah,
they've adjusted their tactics a little bit.
For sure. Different positioning on this mid. They've actually taken that right-hand side on their side of the middle. They have traded their soldier for both scouts, both soldiers for both scouts. This is looking pretty good for them, keeping both their scouts alive here with their demo man on the hut. Bit of damage going out, but not too much really happening. There does seem to be a bit of a positional advantage for Terrible Tactics, getting a lot of damage on Ambro, who's really looking like he wants to back out. Default getting caught on that corner there, taking a lot of damage as well. It looks like they are probably just going to back out of this one.
Yeah, the soldiers and the scouts is a pretty decent trade, but then they got to take it. They took a lot of spam, but they have now used into the other team.
Yeah, both Ubers getting used here. Ambro getting caught trying to get out of library there. Just sort of got stuck in for a bit too long. Too much pressure on him there. We do see Spartan behind still though, but it looks like they're totally aware of it. Scouts are both there, ready to frag him. He's got no damage on the med, unfortunately, and gone down. I think this is probably going to be another last push after this free second cap, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is now Uber ad, and they're not even attempting to hold second, so this is going to be another Colon Cancer last hold, which they haven't had a lot of luck with before. So far, they've lost 3 out of the 4 mids, and haven't really succeeded in any last pushes or holds, which makes you question a bit on why they exactly chose this map and what advantage they thought they'd have on it.
Yeah, I do wonder about these last holds. We do see Ants spamming out the sentry gun, but dying. I'm a big fan of just throwing a heavy on left side, because then nothing can really come through if he stands on like the hedge.
Yeah,
and have
definitely.
your combo hold on right, because that under area is dangerous, man. They get so close to the point if they come through there.
I just have to interject as an engineer, mate. If you put a level 2 sentry gun kind of like right on the right side steps, it's really hard to actually even see it from the left side door, which can protect them from a lot of spam, and it watches under and basically main as well if anyone comes right side, so that's my preferred spot for the sentry at least.
Always analysing from that engineer's perspective. We do see the Ubers even up in the meantime, so it's going to be a bit of a stalemate for a while. We do see Optivex peeking in lower a little bit. I think he's just waiting for a frag. Ant's in for a big sack. He's on the default nice and early. He gets memed by Django, man.
Django running the Frontier Justice. Kind of an interesting pick on Engineer. One that's been run a couple times before on 6s, but you know, not one you'd expect to see too much in this situation. But it's interesting, they let the Ubers even out completely, so it looks like they're not really too chuffed about trying to force rounds. They're 3 rounds up, 17 minutes. They might be pretty happy to just let the clock run down here.
I certainly would be if I was them. We do see that Ants comes up on Spy, but Juice has also come up on Spy. I'm not sure if he's checked off classes in the meantime. Ants eating a spam rocket from Spartan as he tried to get in, so they definitely know that he's on Spy now. We're going to have to see if he's going to be able to achieve anything despite that. He does get in on that right-hand side. He's in pretty deep as well. He looks like he's just regenning some of his cloak there. He's looking at that sentry. He's looking at default. I don't think he's really made a decision of what he's going to go for yet. I think the ideal pick here is probably the medic.
Sees a tactical chat usage from Terrible Tactics, attempting to get someone to stand still long enough to respond so they can get backstabbed by the spy.
Yeah, we do see Juice going down in the meantime. Worthy with a couple of very, very fat pipes onto him. Optivex getting some spam in, looking like Ants might be going for it shortly. Amber down a little bit low as well, so maybe you can just opt for the revolver.
You'd expect Ambrosio as a spy main to sort of be pretty aware of the stuff, be kind of hard to sneak up on, but yeah, it is taking quite a while for his health to regen here. He might just be able to get revolver down, but it looks like Ants isn't really going to go for that one.
Yeah, Ants is definitely playing the long con here. I think they are totally happy to play this Spartan, getting in through under and getting a frag, getting 2 actually. I have lied. Spartan down very low. This could trigger the push. Ant's actually decloaking. He's getting onto Ambro now. He doesn't really succeed at all, caught out very quickly by Juice. I mean, they're going to flee second here, and it's going to be a free cap.
Yeah, really impressive sack there from Spartan, supported by Juice as well, and a really good coordination for that one. And yeah, it wasn't really even a sack since he survived it. You know, just really good play by him.
Yeah, he got away with 2 Harry Potters, I believe, which is definitely by the skin of his teeth.
2 Harry Potters?
2 health points.
Ah, right, okay, of course. I was thinking he was doing some under-the-cupboard play, you know?
I mean, it was definitely a bit that way. He went in through lower, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, this looks like a bit of a reset. Spartan dying to Worthy in Oxford there. The library. Ant's going for a bit of a sack and getting absolutely minced by the grinder that is 2 scouts sitting there waiting for him.
Yeah, counter-sacking 2 scatterguns is never a fun job.
Definitely not enviable, I would say. With the spawns here, I don't think there'll be any sort of major player advantage that's usable. Default's poking a little bit at choke, but Worthy's there to mediums. Juice actually getting straight in and getting the fattest drop that he could possibly hope for. We'll have to see what happens here. They're definitely going to be sacking as players come through. Default through the choke nice and early. Ambro actually dropping Optivex, getting a really big bomb straight through. The fight's looking very scrappy. Players dying all over the shop. Nerf really the only one left fighting. He's able to connect the shots onto the Scout. Appa 3. Nerf getting a health pack. Worthy down very, very low at choke there and dying as well. They crawled back into that fight, right?
Goodness, despite the absolute destruction of colon cancer after that sack, they all fell really dead really quickly, just leaving Nerf, but he doesn't care. He still gets the 4K. He still turns it around. I mean, really great individual play from a lot of these players on colon cancer side.
Absolutely, and they really must be feeling this pressure now with 13 minutes left and 3 rounds down. Optivex poking this choke pretty hard. We do see Spartan in Library going down very, very low as well. Appa3 ready to take that frag for himself. Ants there as well, getting some spam. But in the meantime, his team has pushed a good chunk of choke. They do lose Spartan though, and that's going to see them backing back up into the middle.
Yeah, playing super slowly has been able to drain the timeout, but hasn't really gotten any large advantages for the side of Terrible Tactics. Cancer has been doing pretty well on, getting those sacks and getting their players in to take advantage of them playing so slowly. But, it's still to see how it's going to go since it's now down to 12 minutes with the 3 rounds up for Terrible Tactics. We'll see if, with them playing so slowly, Cancer can actually get any large opportunities here to get around down.
Yeah, we did see a sack from Ants and a counter sack from Juice. Naught going on with those, but Juice has got a very long spawn. His counter sack was a little bit late, I think. I don't think that's really going to see much difference. One player ad's pretty hard to push. Don't mean to sound condescending from my pedestal at the bottom of Inter, but especially at this fucking level, pushing one ad is difficult. It's very difficult.
Well, considering I clearly have, much greater insight than you do with my happily 4th place badge in the season of Intermediate, I can concur with you that, yes, one player this ad is very hard to push. It is turning into a larger change as Spartan and Jangre and Juice pick up Ants in the flank.
Yeah, and we do see Opti getting very, very keen in Library there. Default kind of left high and dry at choke there. Taking a lot of damage. Opti still poking on the flank. He is getting dueled by Jenga, who has managed to take 0 damage so far. Some good dodging out of him. But I think we're just going to be seeing another bit of a reset. Worthy and his team pretty keen at choke there, but they actually do back out.
Spartan directly into them, gets the force on the medic with a crazy sack right over top of both scouts.
Yeah, Worthy coming through choke there without the Uber and just meeting both scouts. We do actually see Optivex getting in behind, cleaning up one of the scouts as well with his scout. Appa3 on that flank. They have lost a lot of their players here, but they still have a bit of a player ad on the side of Colon Cancer. Spartan spawning now. And it looks like they're keen to push this nonetheless. It's definitely a hard second point to get out of if anything goes wrong, so I think that Terrible Tactics has taken the right tactic in this case and backed out of that second.
Clearly not doing justice to their team's name, but you got to admit that it is very intimidating attempting to push players down into Nerf, who currently has a 6-kill streak, just after he's been doing that to your team.
Absolutely horrifying. Spartan getting caught out, my apologies, in this front lobby area. I think he just got minced against a wall. Not much he could really do.
He's currently attempting to get 50 deaths for the game, I'm assuming.
It's important to do. He has come up on Spy, though, and he has left spawn, so he's not just checking for off classes. So I think they know they're at a bit of a disad here, but you can see that Terrible Tactics has decided to turtle the last bit, and why wouldn't they? 10 minutes left, 3 rounds up. Be rude not to. So exactly. We'll have to see what Spartan does on this off class.
Yeah, he is no spy main, has never played it before in competitive, but he is a degenerate, so he does have a natural advantage.
We did see Juice getting a bit of a sack in the meantime. Maybe to take some eyes away from that lower area. Spartan taking his time, getting on through. Running the cloak and dagger there. He's just regenning his cloak over near the spawn doors. Came very close to being seen there. I think his cloak actually ran out for a moment.
Speaking behind the bushes while Ants is on 2 HP on top of a bush, so looks like the G-Sec did its job and taking the eyes away from him.
We do actually see Worthy spamming some stickies behind himself, I think. Just hoping to catch out that spy. Spartan up on the hedge there. His team getting a bit of room for him, and he gets caught out by I've forgotten his name because he's fake nicking.
Somehow Beats, right. Somehow all the players on Terrible Tactics have their volume set to the same level as Spartan and could not hear that decloak, as no players turned around when he decloaked right on top of the Heavy's head, but the scouts did react in time to save their medic there, and that's probably going to move Spartan back onto Soldier. They may try a more conventional play.
Yeah, definitely would make sense. It is good to see that none of the players on Terrible Tactics are cheating, though. The Uber does come through. Ants going down nice and early on the flank. We do see the Uber is a bit shit, actually, and they've had to bail out at the last there.
No idea what the plan was there. If it was supposed to be a solo or if Ambrosio just popped. Does look like he possibly forced 2 ants in their prime bombing into them. So yeah, just a bit more defense there.
Yeah, I definitely whiffed the sack because I was too focused on the fact that they weren't cheating, but the Uber comes through out of Terrible Tactics, cleaning up Juice in lobby, also cleaning up Default, about as good as their Uber can really get, cleaning up Spartan as well. In the meantime, we do see Appa3 hanging out on that last, very worried about a back cap, I think, but they have nothing to fear.
Nerf does get out with his medic though, possibly protecting his 6 kill streak more than he's protecting his medic, but that will give them the Uber advantage now for either holding this midpoint or re-pushing.
Yeah, if they're going to be wanting to hold this midpoint, they're going to have to come in now, though, which they have done. The Uber is ready to go. Ants onto Ambro, cleaning up the Scout and the Medic with a big drop. Spartan in nice and deep, trying to get a return kill onto Spaceship. Jenga in as well, cleaning up that Medic. That will probably delay their ability to push last. Default actually sacking in as well, going for the frags here. Cleaning up one of the Scouts with the pain train, but going down for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, that was a really, really dodgy push from them. Losing Ambrosio in the drop just absolutely cleaned up around that time. You know, definitely not looking good for them now that it's now down to 6.5 minutes with still 3 rounds up from Terrible Tactics.
I mean, the good news for them is even if they lose this, they have another 2 maps to bring it back. We do see a bit of a fight going on at Choke there. Spartan actually standing on Ans's head for like a good couple seconds.
You wonder if there's an MG for that, you know, standing on another player's head, because Spartan definitely seems to have it down pat.
I've never seen that before. It was so long, man. They were like both looking for each other.
You'd think Spartan would kind of know exactly where it was.
Spartan going for a big sack. Not really achieving much at he's behind in their choke there. Spaceship and Appa3 back there, they clean him up. We do see a bit of a fight going on at Library as well. Ant's actually coming out on top of that one with 3 Harry Potters. And I think that's probably going to spell the end of this second hold for... Never mind, I've lied. They've held the choke. I just absolutely godsmacked. The Ubers have come out from both teams, but it's looking pretty bad for the guys on Cancer here. They're having to bail pretty hard. Jenga7 here to defend his med. Nerf going down though. Jenga7 cleaning up the demo, going down for it, and that is going to be a last hold, I believe, unless they continue to fight. Ambro getting very aggressive.
They're doing really well with these actual sort of forward plays here, getting quite a lot of frags. Ambrosio is staying alive the entire time, and they're doing a lot to delay Terrible Tactics from getting through onto them. We'll see if that does translate into maybe succeeding this last push, but there are so many players down, it's probably a done conclusion.
Yeah, I think this one's definitely going the way of the dinosaurs for the Cancer team here. They've lost another round, 4 minutes and 50 seconds left. I don't know the timers. I don't think you can cap in a minute flat though, can you?
Well, no, I don't know on this map. The rollouts, I think, are a little bit too slow for it. So, I mean, most likely it's over by now, especially if Terrible Tactics does not do anything overly stupid and, you know, doesn't throw away this round.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with this mid, though. Spartan going down nice and early, sacking onto the demo. Juice going down as well. Default cleaning up Worthy, though, might be good for him there. He does actually go down a bit high and dry once again, a bit too forward with his team backing up. And we do see Nerf and Amber getting right on out, probably in an attempt to stop this from being a full 5-0.
Yeah, the most important thing there probably for Colin Cancer was to pick up that medic, because without that you can't roll the rounds. But not only did they not get the medic, but they didn't even get the mid. So, I mean, now with under 4 minutes left and 4 rounds up, this is a fight to see if they can get the win difference or not.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be style points for Terrible Tactics here, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how they do this one. It's not looking like a full turtle, pardon me, out of Colon Cancer here.
Take your time.
as they haven't really run any off classes yet. They're just opting for a more traditional hold. A bit
They
more.
probably wouldn't be wanting to run those slower classes because they want to move their players a bit more, get ready to push out if they have to. Maybe try to get a couple of rounds off in this last stage just for the morale of it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to be losing 5-0 at the start of your playoffs round, but the Ubers have come out from both teams. A bit of player down on either side. It's looking like a pretty good hold so far out of Colon Cancer. 3 minutes remaining. I don't know. They haven't really got any sort of pushable ads, so I don't like their odds of being able to last this here. The timer is slowly ticking down so far.
Let's see if they can bait people into maybe a little mini push so they can pick up a couple of frags. Because if they do just get 1 or 2, then they have a pretty decent chance of being able to push out this and take that second.
Yeah, we did see Juice get caught in that lobby area though, which could spell the end. Being a player down here is not where they want to be, especially with how aggressive Worthy is getting, but he does go down for that aggression actually.
2.5 minutes now. Neither team has Uber. They did get the medic, which will give them a pretty substantial Uber rate if they can keep Ambrosio alive, but unfortunately they don't. And
yeah,
we'll see if they can actually get anything significant off this with that even Uber situation. But they will at least be able to get the second and maybe the mid.
Yeah, they've definitely captured this second. They even backspawn the med and the scout. If they pick up their medic, which Nerf is on his way back to do. By the way, I want to shout out, he got like a fat 4 or 5 kill streak. He came in the lobby there. It was pretty fat. But
yeah.
He's gone back to collect his med. There is a bit of a fight going on, a middle. Worthy going down, actually, which could be really good. Spartan in very deep, cleaning up the med and one of the scouts. A sniper from APA3 able to clean him up finally. Juice trading for Ants as well. This is looking very good for Colon Cancer.
Yeah, really big frags coming out for them. Both Spartan and Nerf going really huge in these last engagements to get forward. And now they will have Uber Aid going into last. We'll see if they can actually get around on the board.
Yeah, man, it's looking very, very good for them. They have this really big ad around about 50%. There is a sniper on APA3 still. I would have thought he may have swapped off, but he actually has not. He's sniping from spawn there. We'll have to see. Where do you think they should be pushing this? They've got a minute left to do it, so they can probably play a little bit to try and get some sort of player ad, but that ad's dangerous.
Yeah, they know that this is probably going to be their last push. I think they should probably push under, especially with the sniper looking left side. If they get an under, they can get pretty heavily onto the combo and avoid that sniper sightline completely.
Yeah, I mean, I think going under would be the play, but they've come through the shutter area straight into a heavy. They've lost their demo man. They have cleaned up the heavy though. They've got some good point control. Spartan's on there, getting a lot of splash damage off. Ambro really the only one left to fight at this point though, losing all of his team, and he does go down with 30 seconds remaining. I mean, unless they get some sort of crazy cap here, default going in on his own or something, I think that's probably the game.
Yeah, very likely for us to see now a 4-0 of CP Villa going to Terrible Tactics.
Yeah, I definitely think it was strangely... It's like, it wasn't an even game, but the 4-0 scoreline doesn't really reflect how Colon Cancer was playing this, because they were definitely getting some ads and turning it around a little bit, but they just weren't quite able to convert it.
Yeah, definitely. It seems that they had really good individual play, but maybe they're just, as the team played, maybe some of their pushes, some of their holds didn't really work out as much as they wanted it to. Especially, I think, probably the biggest pain for them there was their last holds and pushes. I mean, they had a couple last pushes there that they couldn't get anything off, and a couple of last holds that they really could have held, or should have held, but they kind of didn't. That, along with the mids, just kind of really hurt them in that game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just feel like that last is just something that they seem to be struggling with quite a bit.
Definitely. Going on to the logs, we can see a really large disparity of kills between the two teams, definitely with Terrible Tactics having the better of that, with Nerf pointing out on Cancer at 23 kills. But apart from that, we got OptiveX, 23 kills as well. One of the scouts, who I cannot tell which one.
APA3?
Yeah, APA3 on 25 kills. Just really heavy hitters on the side of Terrible Tactics.
Absolutely. We do see damage-wise default coming through at the top. 313 deeps. Pretty respectable. there's not really too much jumping out at me from these logs. The kill assist death ratio on APA 3 though is incredible, 5.8. He went 25 for 6 with 10 assists. That's a lot of participation in his team's
Definitely.
frags there. That's just a smidge over a quarter of the kills on his team.
Yeah, really performing well from the roamers as well. Spartan and Ants getting the second most damage on the team and the server underneath the demo men. Really doing quite a lot of work. Ants as well getting 19 frags. Although they are, of course, all soldiers, apart from Optiv, pretty represented in the deaths, 25, 25, 28, right at the top there with 10 higher than the most death scout.
Yeah, Opti did have a pretty good game with 23 for 10, but look, we're still talking about Villa. The next map's already loaded. Gully Wash. Obviously a very different map. Like I said earlier, I feel like it's a bit more segmented. Do you think that's going to make a bit of a difference for Colin Cancer here? I mean, I know that you know the team a bit better than I do.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe on this map, they're going to be more likely to maybe be relying on their soldiers. Maybe won't see Nerf performing as well. But given how Spartan and Juice have been playing, it won't be strange to see them pulling some really good plays on this map, which they can pull off. You also wonder if it'll maybe be a little bit easier for the medic, maybe to get out, maybe not. Maybe have a little bit of a better game. Considering last game, he seemed to have quite a few less heals. Did get 2 drops and one less Uber than the other medic.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I didn't really talk about the med stats is I felt like they were just really endemic of how poorly a lot of the fights were going for Ambro there. But definitely those 2 drops were pretty crucial. Both of them were at really, really important moments for his team. That I mean, who knows what would have happened if they had been able to secure the Uber in a good spot. But
yeah, definitely. And this is one of the things, like you said, this map is a lot more segmented than Villa, so maybe has a bit of a better chance, or maybe even a worse chance, for seeing medics perform similar or perhaps better than the last map. Looking to see maybe more heals going on to the soldiers here, as they don't really have as much room to maneuver as Villa. And really just going to come down to how Terrible Tactics takes this mid and last, since this is a map that they should be less comfortable on. Oh, sorry, for Terrible Tactics, it should be a map that they're more comfortable on than Villa, which doesn't really spell good news for colon cancer. But, I mean, I'm assuming they have scrimmed this map. They have, played all the maps in the rotation. So, maybe Villa was just a one-off bad map that they thought they could do better on, but they just got counted on this one, as happened in my own official intermediate this season.
Out of interest, the thought has occurred to me. I mean, Villa and Sunshine are 2 more newer maps. Is Colon Cancer potentially, have they picked those to have that sort of X factor of okay, people are still sort of figuring out how to play these maps necessarily?
I mean, with Villa, I've actually talked a little bit to Spartan about it, and he did say that one of the reasons why they'd want to pick it is because they have gotten really good scrim results on that map against a lot of the other teams that they've been fighting. But it possibly just looks like Terrible Tactics maybe just did a little bit more work on them, so we'll see if that sticks through for Sunshine, which is their other map pick. If they are just picking it based on their strengths, then that could just clash with Terrible Tactics. Might just be bad luck with Villa. They might just pick, hey, we're doing good on this map, let's pick it. And at the end of the day, Terrible Tactics was like, yeah, well, we spent 8 hours a day training this map. We've pulled out the demo reviews and we've, gotten some pro player to come along and get a ruler out and show us all the spots, something like that.
Absolutely. Something that I feel like Colin Cancer needs to be fearful of.
But like you said, because, Sunshine is a newer map in the rotation, of course not as new as Villa, but yeah, they could have a little bit of an advantage there, since I'm assuming a lot of these, well, I mean, Spartan and Ambrosio, this is actually their first season of 6s, so yeah, they might have a little bit of advantage there, because for them, it'll be the same sort of level of the maps.
Is it really Spartan's first season, man? I feel like I've seen him playing Pugs for years and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, he's been playing since 2016. I know because I actually got him for my very first Sixers team that never got off the ground. I found him in a pub. But yeah, so he's been around for ages, but he's been playing Highlander, actually, not really Sixers in any pro league, so...
Man, I thought he'd at least played like a season. Damn.
No, yeah.
You learn something new every day, man. I keep telling you.
Yeah, did you know his name was the Spartan Soldier after the hat?
I did actually know that.
That's why I found him in a pub. He was wearing an unusual hat and he was pub stomping, and he had in his name LFT. So I thought, hey, screw it. Let's get this guy. For his trial, he had to MG Crud.
Really? That's a good trial.
Yeah, he won because that was back when, when Crud first started playing the game, so. But we have received some news that Default has gone out for a dart, so it will be at least half an hour till he gets back. Hopefully sooner, but that's only assuming he doesn't get mugged, which is, 50-50 coin flip at this stage.
Sometimes I worry about my influence on the youngsters, because I remember, I think Default's first Sixers team, he played medic in a team that a good friend of mine from real life put together.
Was that Master Menace?
Yes, it was.
Master Menace was a terrible team. You should feel bad.
Great!
It was awful.
I got to play Pocket Man, and I taught them all such awful, awful things.
If Flooz ever starts playing a game, I'll hold you responsible. You corrupted poor innocent Default.
Hey, that wasn't my fault, man. He was fine when he left me, and then he took
played
up
for me for 4 seasons. He played with me for 4 seasons after that, so...
I think he took up some poor company. That was all I was going to say.
He used to be so timid, and then we told him you have to be some mean bastard if you want to, main call on a team, and the rest is history.
I think I told him 1,000 times to get his dick swinging on med, because it's way more fun.
Oh, yeah. It took us a couple seasons, but we got him there. And now look at him. Absolutely toxic.
Absolutely toxic. One of the most foul human beings.
Well, at least he is not contending for the most hated player title in main or open.
Look, God knows who that would be.
I couldn't tell you. Spartan probably could.
He could definitely give me a vague idea, I think.
Yeah, although, since recent events, I think Spartan is happy sitting in the number 2 spot.
It's important to, make improvements in your life,
Exactly.
Yeah. But we do actually see Default joining his team on the server, and we see Terrible Tactics readying up, throwing down the gauntlet, as it were, saying, come and get it. And it looks like this one is going live. So, map 2, Gullywash, what are your predictions? What do you reckon?
Right, well, given this Terrible Tactics map and that pretty dominant showing on Villa, I feel it'd be morally corrupt to predict anything more than, a pretty heavy lead for them. Probably another 3-0, 4-0, something like that.
Cool. We do see Ants in nice and deep on the Default early, getting a lot of damage off it, not managing to secure the frag, actually going down for it. Juice doing the same thing at the other choke. Ambro actually took a lot of the damage nice and early as well. Optivex left there. He hasn't been seen yet. He gets a lot of damage on the Default. Secures the frag. He does go down, but Jenga going down as well is spelling the end for Ambro and Nerf here. Unless Nerf can hit some really fat shots, which he does so far. He's taken out one of the scouts. He's fighting the other one, and he goes down to a fat crossbow from Spaceship, who looks like he's ready to push straight through the choke here. Spartan's trying to jump, but he's getting absolutely minced by Apathy. That's a pretty good mid. We actually see Ants in behind as well.
Oh, Apathy. Apathy?
Yes.
Right, okay, now I see it now. Yeah, definitely mid going pretty rocky on both sides, but yeah, definitely swinging the way of Terrible Tactics in the end there. Nerf did hit those nutty shots to get that scout down, probably preventing them from pushing into second that fast, especially now that Ants has gone down as well.
Yeah, definitely an interesting push here, though. We see that Terrible Tactics actually pushing through Baby Door into lobby. They lose a scout and a demo nice and early. The Uber has come out. It's been forced on the side of colon cancer here. Spaceship did actually use in that lobby area as well, so he's already faded. This is going pretty well for Terrible Tactics here. Optivex behind, he's likely to get cleaned up, and once they've secured that player ad, which they have, it looks like they're going to be pushing through choke. Bit of damage on Ants, who is very close. He goes down. Apathy sort of caught underneath there, though. Not where he really wants to be. It looks like he's going to be able to get out Big Door, and that's a great mid push.
Yeah, things are really going well for the side of colon cancer here. Really solid hold, really solid push. Definitely playing really together on this.
Yeah.
But going into now the second, they do have Uber ad, so we'll see how they play that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they play. We did see that slightly more unorthodox push going through Baby Door and trying to take that lobby area. I think they just got minced by, I believe it was Default spamming some pipes through the shutter door and catching out one of the scouts there. Just causing some real problems. Optivex above the choke here. He hasn't been seen yet. He hasn't been spammed. He's on Ambro. The Uber gets forced. Optivex getting fragged for it, but totally happy securing that ad for his team. It does look like they're playing it very far back here, Colin Cancer.
Maybe they want to make sure they don't get called out by the Uber, and maybe trying to sort of bait them in a little bit so they can get a player onto their medic, stop them from pushing mid with the Uber ad. It doesn't really look like they'll be able to, as Juice gets dropped.
Yeah, Janga7 dying on the flank there as well. Spartan down very low. The Uber has been popped. It's looking like they're going to get minced in the middle. They lose Ambro, they lose Default. It's just Nerf here. He's trying to get some damage on the spaceship. He hits one when big fucking meat shot, but not quite enough to secure the frag.
Can always be relied on Nerf to hit very large meat shots, but unfortunately isn't quite enough for them there. Spartan is still behind though, so let's see if he can pick anything up with these two spawners coming at him into choke.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's able to do very much there. One soldier versus two soldiers.
Does get him quite low though. He's probably going to be bragging about that for another week, so...
Oh, look, you got to take your victories where you can get them, don't you?
Of course.
This about 15-20% ad. It's looking pretty good for them. They've taken this top area. There is a sentry, Janga7 on Angie, and Juice on Heavy.
Again, another absolutely basic sentry spot from Janga7. Doesn't even cover the point. Disgraceful. But with the very slight ad, it's... I don't know if they're going to actually be able to push using this or it's just going to even out. It looks like it's just going to even out.
Yeah, it looks like they're pretty keen to push it anyway, though. The Uber does get used. They've flashed 2 to 3 players already. Juice getting the Uber in the end from Ambro there. They've cleaned up Spaceship Worthy and the Scout. This is looking pretty good for colon cancer. Sorry.
Take your time there, mate. Take your time.
Ants in that lobby area there, getting a big amount of damage onto Ambro, who collects the pack after not dying.
Nerf clearly not afraid to show his size of his meat here, as they do pick up the second point with a full wipe onto the other team. So that's going to give them a fat advantage, which, you know, we're hopefully going to see them push into mid with.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, if you got it, flaunt it. Appa 3 on that sniper, though, flaunting something of his own. Getting a fat headshot over onto the big door area there, which should delay this push quite a bit.
That delay might not matter too much, as they don't actually have Ubercharge yet. Ambrosio seems to be a little bit slow building this, but they will be hitting up 90%, and it's still going to push through choke.
Yeah, I mean...
Or drop down.
Okay, drop down's a better idea. I actually like that a bit more. Default getting super wide, getting a lot of stickies off onto the players there. It looks like they're going to be able to collect this middle more or less for free. Optivex and Ants with a big jump. Opti onto the point, Ants onto the med. Ants going down. Opti trading for Juice, though, which is pretty good. Default's very aggressive at the big door area there. Taking a lot of damage, having to back out quite a bit. But we do actually see Janga7 going in for a bit of a sack. He does go down as well. The spawns have come out now, though, so it's looking like it might just be a bit of a reset.
Somehow, I'm sure on your screen, Janga7 has turned into Spartan, but here Spartan did go in for that sack at the end of it, didn't quite make it, but he did essentially move them out of Big Door, which has allowed Colon Cancer to cement themselves on this mid, and yeah, we're going to see how slowly they play this, since there's still Appa 3 up on the sniper for the side of Terrible Tactics.
Sweet stuff. I apologize for mixing up my players there. I think I just
You should be sorry, man.
Mate, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I think I got caught up in the sauce, if you know what I mean. Janga, I think, got caught in the big door area there, and I took that as a sack.
Snazzy's drinking habits aside, how do you think they're going to break this hold?
I can't imagine any really easy way for them to do it. Maybe just sacking and coming up with an off class or something. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if this team is known for having any really strong snipers to counter Appa 3 with. Especially since Appa 3 has been hitting some pretty decent shots. Nothing too crazy, no drops or anything, or any big frags before the pushes, but yeah, it definitely has been pretty consistent.
I mean, you'd have to expect some sort of consistency from him, because if you can't tell from the alias, like, he's a Quake nerd. So, he's one of those dudes that's he's ready, man. He's got his mouse in hand, and he's gonna be clicking at exactly the right time.
As opposed to multiple other players who are known to very much not hold their mouse with their hands. But
I do it with my feet, in case it's not obvious.
Right, you gonna put that camera on for the stream?
Yeah, baby.
Oh, okay. So, I blame Just Jazz for that one. But, yeah, he definitely is holding down Big Door all by himself, but the soldiers are rotating over. I wonder if Terrible Tactics is going to look to get anything here, or if this is just all solely onto Colin Cancer to push. Really just seems to be kind of slow, not really sending in any sacks, just peeking a little bit, getting some spam out.
Yeah, we do see Spartan in that drop-down area, though. I don't know if he's going to be able to do very much with that. The traps are in a spot where he can jump up and have a bit of a peek, but until they bait something there, it's not really good. Juice, actually, I think eating a spam rocket and getting bounced in and getting sniped down. Spartan dying at choke as well. Ant's going down to a trap, though. This is probably the push that we've been waiting to see. The Uber comes through choke. A lot of flashes going on. Janga7 fighting on his own over at Big Door there, and he's going to get minced. This is looking pretty bad for Colin Cancer here. They still have this sniper up on the side of Terrible Tactic. He's in nice and deep at Big Door. The pressure is too much. Default goes down at choke. This is looking pretty bad for Colin Cancer, man.
Yeah, this 7 style of gameplay from Terrible Tactics really seems to be working out for them this map. And, they just sat there, played the fundamentals, held the point, stalemated it, until they got the advantage and pushed it out really cleanly.
Yeah, definitely a pretty good push out of them there. Still hanging on to this sniper as well. I mean, no real reason not to. He's been hitting his shot. He's been creating that sort of space just with his mere presence. I don't know. I don't know how they want to push this. They are on a pretty big disad.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they're just going to still rely on the sniper. It doesn't really look like Colin Cancer knows they have this advantage here, as they do have the heavy up. They are building the sentry gun, now in a much more Luggnuts approved position. So,
I was actually going to ask if this one was a better spot for you.
That's a bit of a dodgy one because it doesn't really watch all of point. But the Ubers have come out from both teams now. Exchange in River, now onto the point.
Yeah, Spartan and Opti trading on that launchpad area. The Uber actually backs out. They keep their med and demo alive, but their scout down very, very low. He's having to back out, so this is not looking super, super good for Terrible Tactic. Ant's coming into that Big Door area, though. See if he can get anything done. Nerf in very, very deep, getting a lot of damage onto Worthy. Cleaning up the frag. Janga7 cleaning up the medic. Default cleaning up the other scout. This is looking very good. Ant's behind. Default cleaning him up with a clean pipe. Opti in with a big, big bomb. Cleaning up Ambro, man, right at the tail end of the fight.
Someone's been handing out mops to these players because there's a lot of cleaning going on from both teams here. They have equalized the Ubers, so it's not going to be too much of a massive advantage for Colin Cancer pushing this, but they are still going to be able to handle it at this mid.
Yeah, man, definitely a very, very big, big fight there. Ant's peeking in that Big Door, trying to get some spam rockets off. I think he's just given away his position. They probably could have cleaned him up. Juice actually killing one of the scouts at choke there. Opti's in underneath, though, and I don't think he's been seen a lot. Nerf is clocked. He's onto Janga, nice and deep, though. Janga not really reacting to that one. They've only got 3 players left alive on the side of Colin Cancer here. One of the scouts behind. Optifex coming through Big Door with his med. The players are a bit low on the side of Terrible Tactics, though, so I think it's actually not going to be a push into mid like I thought it would. And we're actually seeing Colin Cancer pushing into second here. They've got a pretty good sense of ground as well.
With Default's pipes and Nerf's scattergun leading the way, well, probably a really intimidating hold to have. They are coming back in through River onto the team, so see if they can get the mid.
Yeah, we saw Terrible Tactics rotate around up top very, very early. Which gave them a lot of ground there, but losing Ants, Opti, and Apathy in very quick succession, really putting them in danger. Nerf on the point, nice and deep and early. Amber doesn't quite have the Uber yet. He died on 99 in the last there as the Uber came out from Spaceship. Worthy getting a frag onto Default. Oh, that's really going to put the push in some dire straits. Janga7 underneath, but I believe he's been seen. He's going to clean up Ants on his way out, though.
Really painful push there. They had a really good wrap that they set up right after Terrible Tactics fed all their players right on top of them. and they managed to get Juice on the point just before Worthy popped the Uber. Worthy had the Uber popped on him and denied him with the stickies. And yeah, just slight delay in the Uber charge. Only 99% before he died. Really, really devastating for their team.
Absolutely. I don't know if they may have been a bit too overeager with the push though.
Yeah, it was an interesting play, definitely. Thinking, they're all up in river, they've just lost a lot of players, we have 3 players here. If we wrap them, we can maybe get the point here. But again, given the fact that both sides were expecting to be on even Uber, it is definitely a risky play, especially to put Juice out that far ahead. Nerf out that far ahead.
Yeah, we do see the Uber come through from Terrible Tactics, straight through choke there. They do clean up Nerf, but the Uber gets used back into them. It's pretty standard, bit of a scrappy fight. Jenga 7 taking down Optivex. Ants is in underneath though, coming up through that drop down, getting a lot of damage, cleaning up literally everything, including himself. Spartan with a big sack on the tail end, but he gets cleaned up as well.
That was a wipe for Colon Cancer, with Spartan dying twice in the same fight. Pretty impressive spawn time and rollouts. But yeah, definitely not going too well for Colon Cancer now that they're having to hold last with a pretty big disad.
Yeah, definitely not where they want to be with this, 55-60% disadvantage. Obviously, they're doing their best to turtle. Jangle's building that, building that sentry gun just outside
Not that
of
close
spawn.
to Christmas yet, Snazzy.
Oh, God, dude. And Juice on heavy.
Juice on heavy and Juice and Snazzy, obviously. But yeah, the sentry gun going back into this awful spot from Jenga 7, see if it gets anything, and if they manage to get this hold.
Yeah, the Ubers come out, and the sentry, you predicted quite clearly, did not really achieve very much. 2 players going down in the middle of the Uber. The point's fairly well held, not a lot of ground going out. Optivex actually getting in with 3 frags in very, very quick succession. I believe 2 rockets to get those Worthy, cleaning up default, spaceship cap on the point. That's round 1 after 15 minutes going to Terrible Tactics.
Much longer, much better mids and last holds. Well, 1 mid and 1 last. It's quite a few last holds from Colon Cancer this map than last one. Yeah, let's see if they can keep this really contested play going, or if it's all going to fall apart on this mid.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with this mid. Maybe the tilt factor coming into play. Ants in nice and deep on a default, who does manage to clean him up. Spartan's underneath, which I don't believe has been spotted yet. Optivex actually there to meet him. Now with 1 player down on either team, it looks like the ground is a little bit more betterer for Terrible Tactics. They're taking these fights and they're winning them, it seems. Juice behind though, he has been spotted. He gets a lot of damage onto Spaceship, the medic there. But now they're down an extra player. This is not really where you want to be. And yeah, they've decided to back out of that middle.
Really solid middle there. They didn't lose Ambrosio, so it looks like they haven't really let any, psychological impact of losing last round get to them. And they are looking to hold this pretty handedly, and probably going to meet them in Big Door, Uber.
Yeah, they've rotated most of their players around to meet those players that were at Big Door, but in the meantime, they actually got pushed at choke. They have cleaned up Ants and Optivex, though. This is definitely a spot where they want to be. Even Ubers and 2-player out. Worthy down very low as well, taking a lot of damage. They're pushing through that Big Door. It looks like they're going to be able to collect this pretty easily. Juice jumping into both scouts, getting cleaned up. One of the scouts going down, the other one going down very low, but the Uber gets popped. Worthy down very low on this post as well. Nerf, if he gets saved here, which he does with the Uber out of Ambrosio, this is looking really good at choke here. They've cleaned up the other scout. Spaceship, the only one really left alive at that choke area. He goes down. Worthy goes down. Ambro goes down to Ants, who came in behind. I feel like I'm just reading the kill feed at this point because there's so much going on. But the mid has gone the way of Cancer.
Yeah, definitely really active plays there. Both soldiers going behind in that Uber turned out to be a really good idea, being able to get down Ambrosio, which is going to give them an Uber ad for this last hold. However, not much can be done over Nerf, building up his kill streaks again, now on a 4-kill streak. Very little can stop him once he gets into the right position on that beam in the fight. So yeah.
Nerf really showing up to this game, man. And with 13 minutes left on the clock, this really could go either way at the moment. Ambrosio and his team just building outside in that yard area. How do you reckon this is going to go? Do you reckon they're going to beef the push? Do you reckon they play it nice and slow? What do you think?
Well, I mean, at this stage, we haven't really seen too many attempts of last pushes from them, so we don't really have much to draw off. But I mean, if Nerf's been, turned on by all that frags he's been getting, then maybe we can see him be let in and get quite a few frags in a trade situation if he can survive it. With big, defensive classes, we've got the heavy up on the side of terrible tactics though, but no other classes. We'll, see how this goes. See if they can protect their medic from. Oh, underplay by Jenga 7.
Oh my god, Jenga getting so much cap time as Spartan sacks through from River. Jenga ran underneath through water and got onto that point. Had it very, very capped. Ant's really the only one pushing here because of how capped the point is. They haven't seen him. He does get stuffed by an accidental block from default. Standing on his head. Jenga and Spartan both up on Spy. I'm not sure if that's allowed. Jenga swapping off. So Spartan the only one left on Spy here. Ooh, baby. Spartan's in nice and deep into secret already. He is just regenning his cloak.
It would have actually been really interesting to get Jenga up on Spy now that the Heavy's just sitting on point, and then run a soldier sack at the medic now that the Heavy can't really do anything to stop him. But yeah, Ant's definitely not happy with that last one, dropping that this game sucks in the chat. Maybe not too happy about the long stalemate. We'll see if Spartan can pick up anything, considering that, as we saw last game, Terrible Tactics doesn't really seem to have their in-game sound turned on that high.
That said, I think Terrible Tactics are at least vaguely aware of the Spy here. They've all been looking around. Jenga 7 getting caught out underneath by OptiVex. And I think they've got a vague idea, because they're all spamming like corners. Ants peeking around through lowers as well. I think they're just waiting for a trip up here.
It would be really interesting to see if Spartan now going onto the point, but does get cleaned up really quickly. Possibly just wants to swap back off onto Soldier.
Yeah, I think they were a bit too aware. We do actually see Ants go in and get the force out of Ambrosio. They're still trying to push this, which, I mean, if I was them, I would have just given up. We do see Nerf in nice and deep onto the med, but... oh, he actually did get the force. I'm stupid as hell.
Well, I mean, turning on your monitor is probably a good first step, but Jenga is sitting in River, possibly trying for a back cap, but does get called out really early.
Yeah, default down in lower, cleaning up one of the scouts. Spaceship on his own in the lobby area. His team coming to pick him up. Oh man, he nearly died to Jenga 7.
Yeah, Cancer is making this a really hard push out for Terrible Tactics. That's the third time they've tried to get out of the point and has been really slowed down. But this time they do look like they've got the frags to really push it through.
Oh, Ants with one of the biggest bombs of his life coming around behind Ambro and Nerf, cleaning up those two players that are so integral to this Colin Cancer team. Dude, big ad, big player ad. I mean, they're pushing this mid, they're capping it for free. Spartan's at choke though, he does get cleaned up.
Yeah, not looking good for Colin Cancer here. Like you said, massive disad here, not really holding the mid. They can't even really get this force out with their Roma dead. So it's going to be a second hold with no Roma, with massive Uber disad. It wouldn't be surprising to see this rolled all the way to last.
Yeah, they are taking that top area, so they might want to half hold this just to try to delay the push. We do actually see Ants coming through very deep through choke, checking it out for his team, creating a bit of room. Default cleaning up Worthy may actually delay this push quite a bit. Ants going in for a sack as well, and he gets cleaned. Juice is in nice and deep. He takes some damage onto OptiVex, and they get the force, but Nerf cleaning up the scout. Oh, baby. This is actually looking pretty good.
Yeah, now there's a massive Uber advantage on the side of Colon Cancer, and they are pushing this with the advantage for the scouts.
Yeah, with having both of their scouts there, they're just totally able to retake this mid. And I think that Terrible Tactics is aware of that. They're backing straight out. OptiVex getting away with 11 Harry Potters in the flank. Ants actually in nice and deep to try and get a sack going. Amber holding onto his Uber this time.
Nerf doing a lot of cleaning up on these bombing soldiers here. And yeah, now they've got a player ad, Uber ad, and they're looking to push this, getting in their Uber through choke.
Yeah. So they've gotten through choke without using. There's not a lot of players up top. I think they're very fearful of getting caught out here. Juice going down to a trap of Worthy, but Spartan cleaning up the Demo Man. Definitely a good spot to be. We do see they actually look to be ready to push. Scout and demo in the Uber. The Uber comes out from Ambro. 96% on Spaceship. They haven't quite cleaned him up yet. They do get him now. Ambro could have picked up the minigun, but he did not. Sleeping on it, mate. Optivex down very, very low. Nerf getting frags left, right, and center. Cleaning up Worthy as well. Ants going down to Nerf. And the round has been won. It's 1-1, baby. It's 1-1.
There we go. Now after 13 minutes, we have 1-1. Gotta feel pretty crushing for Terrible Tactics. I feel like they were playing that, bit of a foot off the gas for that last round to maybe try to protect their one-round lead. Didn't turn out well for them as they're now going into the mid with even rounds.
Yeah, these even rounds are definitely coming together. Ant's actually underneath, getting a bit of spam. It looks like he's ready to go through drop-down. Default ready for him. Det your trap, baby! Ant's around onto Ambro, getting a lot of damage, cleaning up the med. It's gone very poor. Nerf really the only one left alive with Jenga 7 to fuck. Nerf cleaning up the demo man. Jenga trying for the med, doing everything in his power, but not quite powerful enough.
And that's absolutely crushing for Cancer, because now there's only 7 minutes left on the map. They've just lost the mid. Massive Uber advantage for Terrible Tactics, pushing into the last. If they pick this up, given how slow the rounds have been going, it'll be really difficult for Colin Cancer to turn this around.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Terrible Tactics having the same sort of problem that we saw on Villa for Colin Cancer, though, where this last is just not playing nice with them. So, I don't know. It's possibly holdable. They've got all of the off classes that they want. They've got Jenga 7 up on Pyro, which could absolutely stuff that Uber into a crevice. We see Juice on Heavy as well.
Let's see what they go. Don't drop
the Uber comes through River. Jenga 7 there. It gets a bit of time off the Uber. Juice actually dying on Heavy as well, getting one frag, but the round goes. So, 6 minutes left. How dangerous is this?
This is really, really dangerous for Colin Cancer. It's all going to really come down to this mid. If they can get a really good mid here, pick up the medic, have that Uber advantage, then things are going to look a lot better for them going into this round.
Yeah, they're definitely in dire straits. Ant's in nice and deep. Once again, he's onto default, cleaning him up early. That's a really, really good pick for his team. This is looking pretty good for them. Worthy down's a little bit low, though. He does actually go down. Nerf and Juice getting the frag count onto that one. Nerf down nice and low on the point, though. Opti coming up from underneath. He does get a bit of damage on Ambro. Very, very low. He gets killed by Nerf. Spartan's in. He cleans up Spaceship. And with only one player left, Appa 3, he's getting out. No, he's not. Nerf ready to clean him up directly.
And this is exactly what Colin Cancer needs going into this round. They now have a very, very large Uber advantage, 90%. They've capped the second point, and they're now going to see if they can push this last.
And you can see that they're playing it very, very safe at that choke area, just waiting until, okay, let's get this Uber, then we'll figure out our push. We know we have time for this. But time is ticking now. Uber slowly descending from 70% ad.
You've got to wonder if any of these teams really fear that golden cap possibility if this evens up, considering the very, very long golden cap they've had before. The Uber has come in on the right side.
Yeah, very early use. Nerf getting juggled in by a 4 trap, sticky trap. Jenga on the point, nice and early though. They've held good control of this top area. Appa 3 on Heavy though, getting work done. Worthy in there as well. Ambro is stuck in secret. He does get caught out by Worthy, who cleans him up. No! This has gone so poorly at the last moment for Colin Cancer here.
That's an absolute disaster for them. Now that they've lost their medic as well, they're going to have a full Uber disad, trying to hold the second point. Maybe they're going to see if they can get a back cap here. Jenga 7 sitting inside big door. Because otherwise, this could just turn into another really long round, which they don't have the time for.
Yeah, with 3 minutes 50 left on the clock, it's definitely not something that I think they really are too eager to get. Jenga 7's still hiding in that big door area, though. Might be able to clean up Ants here. Start a back cap of some sort. He gets a lot of damage on Ants, who does go down. He actually cleans up Jenga 7 as well. So that's a trade. Worthy going down on the point, though, could create some problems for Terrible Tactics here as they drop a scout. They drop the other one. The Uber is just Spaceship and Optideck. They're getting out through choke. This is exactly what Colin Cancer wants to see here.
Absolutely deafening from Terrible Tactics. You can hear the drops hitting the floor. But now they're pushing into second here. As long as they protect their medic for this, they will have this pretty much a full Uber advantage, pushing the last to have another crack at that last push.
Yeah, you don't often get given this many opportunities to redo, to atone for your sins. And Ambro with that full Uber ad looking ready to push through either Shutter or Main. I've lied, he's come around, he's up into the river area, 2 minutes 40 left. They're ready to push. They've got pretty much their whole team there. They're using through on Nerf, flashing Default and one of their soldiers in. Juice on the point nice and early, cleaning up Appa 3 on Heavy. Jenga 7 going down, delaying their capping ability. Nerf still on the point. The point is very, very capped. A lot of damage on the point, but Spaceship gets his Uber in the end. Spartan going down right outside spawn. It's only Spaceship and Worthy. Default looking like he's ready to fight this, but he's going to have to back out, going down to 46 health. He's caught in that lobby area. He does manage to get away, and just heartbreaking.
Yeah, Ambrosio does get out of that though, so it's not going to be any large Uber disad for them coming into the second hold. So they will possibly be able to get another crack at it, but with even Ubers, 2 minutes left on the clock, going to be really, really difficult for them to get anything really done here.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult to force the issue here. I can't, off the top of my head, thinking of any really good ways to get away with it. Maybe sacking to get a pyro onto the point, because they seem to be coming so close to actually capping it, but just not quite able to get it. They have actually used through early. They knew they had that tiny act. Level 1 Sentry really stuffing them into a corner though. They're losing players, Nerf, Juice, and Spartan all going down in the middle of that Uber. Default going down as well, Ambro going down, and that's going to be the end of that push. They got exactly one frag for it, and I mean, that's going to be the tilt factor right there. 1 minute left on the clock.
Yeah, absolutely. At this stage, it's going to be really difficult. Full Uber disad, unless they can get some crazy behind play. This is, really going to be looking bad for colon cancer.
Good news for them that they only have to cap last once to be able to take this to a golden cap, cleaning up one of the scouts that choked there with both their soldiers, but they do lose one of it for it. Nerf taking a bit of a duel. Jenga 7 getting a fat frag on the Spaceship. This is looking progressively better and better. Ambro down very low on that second point as his team pushed around through the big door, I believe.
They now have Uber advantage and player advantage with 40 seconds left on the clock. This is the last push that they absolutely need to get right here, right now, to try to get this into the golden cap.
Yeah, Ambro needs to get in there with his player here. Nerf taking a big duel with Team of Ants in his prime versus... Oh, God, this is bizarre. Not playing the point. There is a pyro on the point as well. Appa 3 there. Nerf taking a lot of damage. He's down very, very low. We do see other players coming through. Juice coming in, getting a bit of damage, but nothing really happening. Ambro, the only one left alive in that last, and he goes down. Jenga 7, it's going to be all on him. 5 seconds left. He's getting in through that main area. He's not quite able to make the point, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Gully Wash going 2-1 the way of terrible tactics.
Yeah, absolutely devastating. Last push there. No players really getting on the point. And yeah, I mean, that's got to feel pretty crushing to lose so handily on your map pick. Better score on their map pick, but still a loss. Honestly, probably not going to be the worst outcome for them. They probably prefer this to another half an hour golden cap. So, and they will get another chance to crack this team if they do get to the grand finals. So, overall, not the worst outcome for colon cancer, but still can't be feeling too good with that one.
Yeah, man. Very valiantly fought, though. There were definitely some moments there where I you could probably hear it in my voice. I genuinely thought they were taking the round. They were taking the round just a little bit on the point.
Yeah, Snazzy, at the moment, the only thing I can really hear in your voice is that you've slowly become a robot. It seems that your internet is, having a little bit of a hard time dealing with it. But yeah, no, definitely. They got so close and so many times. 3 last pushes with Uberad in the round that they really needed it. So just absolutely devastating for them there. But, I mean, on the plus side, their players did perform really, really well. I mean, Nerf did top the server with 36 frags, which is over 10 higher than the next highest frags on the server, which was Optiv, who's on 25 frags. So, yeah, a lot of their players must be feeling, like they did do their best, that they performed really well. But yeah, just at the end of the day, those last really just had them beat. They just really couldn't get through, get on the point, and get that capped out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if my microphone's any better now.
No, it's fixed now.
I'm not sure what went wrong there. I guess that's just the Brisbane internet thing. We have got these logs up. Nothing really jumping out at me too aggressively. We do see Ants going 19 for 31, which is just so endemic of the amount of like sacks and things that he was doing on that flank there. Any chance he got, he was ready to go in and try to get some damage onto Ambro, which it worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, looking at the frag difference, we got Spaceship dying 7 times, Ambrosio dying 13 times, which basically manifested itself in 2 less Ubercharges, although Spaceship did drop 1. So, well, only then 2 Ubercharge difference when what would have been 3. But yeah, apart from that, default again, top damaging on the server, nerf, very high frags, very high damage. Those 2 players really pushing a lot of the logs forward for their teams.
Man, Nerf went 36 for 12.
I mean, clearly it's nerf or nothing for this team because, Jesus, the man shows up to absolutely everything, but whenever the admins request his demos, so.
Yeah, man, a lot of participation from Nerf there, and we do see a similar sort of thing from Apathy 21 for 11. Not quite as impressive, but definitely heading up in that direction. Default popping off pretty well again, damage-wise, but I don't know what needs to change.
Yeah, it's one of those things that possibly it's one of the because they are getting overall less supercharges. Maybe they're not being able to protect their mid enough as the other team is. They are losing him quite a bit, although they didn't have any drops this map, which is pretty good for them. And their last pushes look like it needs a little bit of work. 3 Uberad last pushes, in a round, all failing is pretty painful. So yeah, maybe just a little bit more scrimming on the map that they're going to be picking.
Yeah, but look, Terrible Tactics taking that one, they got to be totally happy. I believe we are getting ready for some interviews, so we might just pop into that channel in a moment, so just sit tight, dear viewers. Oh, here they come. Alright, we will unmute all of them. We see Optivex and Spaceship from Terrible Tactics, and oh wait, no, have I got this the wrong way around?
Ants is also from Terrible Tactics.
Oh, you're all from Terrible Tactics?
Yeah.
What is happening here, mate? Alright, how are you feeling? Good win?
Absolutely, fantastic win.
Pretty good. We beat cancer.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's good. This was cause for celebration, obviously.
Well, we've got the week off now, so that'll be good for us to reset the mental and be definitely checking in to the game next week and see who we're up against. So we're very relieved, very happy. I think we played well tonight and deserved it. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys really, really pounded on those maps. What do you think went better for you on Villa that caused Gullywash to be a bit more stalemate, but allowing you to really pick up the rounds on Villa super hard?
I mean, it's a new map, so it's probably like a large part that the other team was less practice on it. It could be that they might have practiced a lot, but
we were surprised that they chose Villa.
Yeah.
And secretly thought we were a bit of a sleeper chance on it because we rate ourselves a little bit on that map, and I think our patience was a lot more clean. It seemed like in between fights they would sort of lose 1 and then lose 2, and we'd have the means to get in from there. But I just think we played the momentum really well on last pushes. We didn't wait too long. Cleared out heavies and sentries very quickly, and then that point's rather large, so we danced around it and picked up a couple of rounds we maybe shouldn't have there. So
yeah, I mean, definitely. You guys were. I really feel like your last pushes, especially, and your mid fights on Villa were really, really super powerful. You said it's a newer map, so like, how much actually have you been scrimming for this game? On what really has been your sort of go-to scrim maps? Were you expecting to be playing on these maps, or what was really the plan around that?
Yeah, like I said, we were really surprised to get Villa. We thought that we didn't think it was a map that they were particularly strong in. But we always wanted Gully. We probably think it's one of our stronger maps. But honestly, after the bans that we put in, we were happy to play any of the maps that were left.
Right.
So it was just about coming with the right mentality. and the right confidence, I think.
All right. So who do you feel you feared the most on the enemy team? Who do you think really hit the most impact from colon cancer?
Yeah, we always fear nerf. Have all season long.
Also, I think Appa only played Villa like 2 times. Because he's mostly our sub.
A little bit lost.
Yeah, I think the roster change, moving Opti onto Soldier, which he's also like very good on, would have probably made a difference. I think it could have been a very different looking game if we stuck with our original roster.
Right.
If I was on Scout, I would have beefed.
We do actually have Spartan in now from the side of colon cancer. How's that game for you, Spartan?
Yeah, I mean, not bad. I think that definitely came down to it. They were better team on the night, but I'm not too upset with how we played.
All right, where would you say you'd kind of need to improve there? What sort of went wrong on Villa, especially? That was your map pick, you know?
Yeah. Definitely our last pushes were our weakest point, I think. Just kind of converting off, because we had some really good second pushes, especially, and then we just couldn't convert on last. So
Right.
we need to improve on.
And would you agree that the other team said that the hardest part about fighting you guys would have to be, the nerf effect? He's definitely the player they feared the most. So you'd agree with that?
Yeah. You got to fear nerf.
Spartan fears nerf. That's how much we have to fear nerf.
yeah.
He takes a while to warm
I
up.
still feared nerf.
when his own teammates fear him, that's you got him.
Maybe if he stopped sending such threatening messages to me every time I talked about him badly in game, probably go a little bit easier.
I'll watch yourself, mate.
There's fear and then there's fear,
Yeah, definitely having to watch my backs. But how are you guys? So you guys, Temple Tactics, cleaning that up pretty handily. Do you guys pretty confident in going to grand finals here? Do you think you can pull off another round? You think you're gonna have to fight them again, or?
As soon as we secured second spot, we were pretty happy with the position that we're in, and confident going into finals. We had a really good second half of the season, so coming in very strong.
Yeah, these guys have improved so much. Like, seeing how they were playing earlier in the season compared to now, like, there's so many things that they've like picked up on much more, like being much quicker at transitioning into last pushes, being much better at like not just being all in on every push they do, like knowing when to kind of live and be able to like contest the next point after having lost. Like, that was a big thing that I think they needed to work on earlier on in the season, is not just like fully committing to every push.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Right. Well, I guess we can go into some shout-outs now. See what people have. So we can start from the top. Ans, do you have anyone to shout out?
Shout out Hipster, 420, Voltage, Space Bear, Jebby, Chief, and Adam.
And Jazz, you want to shout something out?
And Taz.
All right.
Shout outs, both teams, very entertaining game. Shout out to Default, who I don't think I ever saw you use your stickies. So use it.
Classic.
Sorry, Default. I like you. Not love you, but I like you. So that's.
I don't.
Shout outs to the boys in Burnt Toast Gaming, everybody who ever played for Bra Moment. Shout outs to I don't have anybody else. Luggnuts and Snazzy. Thank you so much for casting tonight. And shout outs to my girlfriend and my dad.
All right. Up next, do you have anyone to shout out?
Oh yeah, shout out to Alt and Berto and Appa.
Right, quick and easy. Spaceship, anyone to shout out?
It's gonna be a weird one, but shout out to the boys from the Church of Yilmaz. I know some of you watching. Shout outs to Berto, didn't get to play tonight, but was cheering from the sidelines. And just thanks for casting the games, lads.
Yeah, thanks. Spartan, shout outs.
Yeah, give a shout out to rest of colon cancer, all the intellectual powerhouses out there. My uncle Wang, and
Yeah.
And the Dyson marketing team, that too. Don't worry about that.
Of course. Couple of inside jokes there. Right, and I'll give a shout out to all the intellectual powerhouses, my Uncle Wang, shout out to the Burnt Toast Gaming lads, shout out to the two teams, Temple Tactics and Colon Cancer, for some really good games, really fun to cast. Shout out to CappingTV for having me, Jazz, thanks for the production, and Snazzy for co-casting. And Snazzy, you got someone?
Oh, mate, I just wanted to pop a quick shout out to the lovely towns of Warrnambool and Swan Hill, champion places. Bloody good to have. thank you to Jazz for producing, and thanks Luggnuts for coming along. And shout out to the teams for putting on a good game for us, and shout out most of all to you people out there, the viewers. So we will throw on over to the other stream at the moment. I believe that is still going. Thank you for coming, and well done to Terrible Tactics.